Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at the Moog Model 15 Modular Synth, continuing our tutorial series, continuing now with the ribbon controller. So the ribbon controller is extremely flexible and you can do some very cool stuff with it. So that's what we're going to take a look at today. So we previously covered the whole synth in general, how to patch, what the modules do. There's a playlist link, it'll pop up in the description sometime, or it'll be at the end of the video. And then we covered the Arpeggiator and what that can do. Now we're going to look at the ribbon controller, right? So before we do, I'm just going to close it out. I'm going to create a quick patch to start with that we can use with our ribbon controller. So I'm just going to connect this to that. That's the filter input, filter output to the amplifier output down to trunk line, and I'm going to connect this envelope to this amplifier and bring up the filter cutoff so you can hear it, and then just some release. Okay, so you see that this reflects what my little key step is doing, is reflected on the keyboard here. Right, okay, so let's close that keyboard and let's open our ribbon controller. Now the ribbon controller is the only controller. It's like you have the arpeggiator, the ribbon, the Animo keyboard. We'll cover it in the next video. The ribbon controller is the only one that is not kind of pre-connected. So if you press on the ribbon here like this and move up and down, it won't do anything at all. And nor will any of this stuff do anything. What we need to do is go to where it says controller outputs, and here you will see ribbon main and ribbon aux. Okay, so the ribbon main is this, and then the ribbon aux is this here. Now these two are for basically re-triggering envelopes. So unless you want to, you don't need to worry about that. We covered this in the these S triggers in a previous video, but we want to know about the ribbon controller. Right, so the most obvious way to hear this ribbon controller is if we take the output here and put it into the frequency here. And remember that this oscillator driver controls both of these oscillators. So we've got this sawtooth. So if I play a key now, as soon as I let go, it's going to return to the note I was holding. So if I hold a C on my MIDI keyboard, let's bring up the keyboard so you can see. And I do this. It's a range of about 2 octaves. But if I let go, it just returns to where I'm holding the keyboard. We want to stop this action. Let's go to settings, and here in controllers, first part configuration, controllers, it says ribbon main returns to 0, ribbon aux returns to 0. So let's switch both of those off. And now, wherever I hold on the ribbon, it will stay where it is. Okay, now what I'm going to do is connect one of the waveforms from the 921 voltage controlled oscillator. I'm going to use this rectangle. So I'm going to take the rectangle output there and stick it into this. And now we've got 2 tones, right? So, and if I change a note on my keyboard, this oscillator won't react to keyboard input. So it's not key tracked by default. So we need to sort that out. So we'll take a pitch here, plug it into the frequency control input. And now we can control the pitch of the keyboard with this oscillator. So because it's a rectangle, we can use the rectangle width to change the pulse width, right? So it's like a square wave. and you're just changing the pulse width. We'll put it about there. And what I'm now going to do is take the ribbon auxiliary control here. Okay, so take this output and I'm going to plug it into this input here. And now with this control, I can control the width. And you'll see it won't snap back. This will also snap back if you don't have it switched off in the settings. These little buttons here, they just control the range of this. And if you don't like it, you can turn it off. So cool beans. Now, having this do frequency is not really ideal. I can control, let me disconnect that, sorry. I can control my frequency and what I want to play from the keyboard. So let's make it do something a little bit more interesting. Let's take our ribbon main, okay, and plug this into a multiple. And what the multiple do, once you plug one input into a multiple, these three become outputs for that multiple. So now I could say, well, I'm going to take one output and plug it into one of the delay controls. So take this one and plug it into time. And I'm going to take this one and I'm going to plug it into mix. So now what this ribbon controller is doing is going to be controlling the mix and the time of the thing. So if we turn this all up a little bit, let's give it some time to start with a point where we can leave our mix at 0 actually. Let's turn the feedback up a bit as well. So now we've got nothing, but now if I move my ribbon up, about there, it starts to kick in. Now, another cool one we could do, we could take remember we've got 3 outputs now from our multi. Let's take our multi out there and plug this into the low pass filter control. And now do this. This is going to control the time, the mix, at the time, the feedback, and now it's going to open the filter as well. And I think I want a bit more control, so I'm going to connect this envelope here also to the filter and do a little bit of shaping. So we can open this. So now, I'm going to close our filter a bit. It's got this very cool kind of ARP vibe going on. And that we can control with our pitch ribbon. Remember, this is controlling this is our auxiliary, and that's controlling our rectangle, our square, our pulse width modulation, if you like, our pulse width. So let's take the mix out of there. And And let's just bring a little bit of mix up anyway. So all this is going to do is control the time. And a filter. And this is a cool one, right? We can do as well. We can also, if we like, because we've got a spare one now, let's take this output and put it into the frequency. This frequency controls. It's not going to control this one. It's going to control this one. So now. So very quickly, we've built up a nice sound. But look, let's look at the ARP. Let's switch it on. And let's play a chord. We won't worry about setting any of the other stuff up. I showed you that in the previous video. But so I can, I don't actually need to. In fact, let's latch it and play it better. Make the actual arpeggio a little bit more interesting, maybe. Let's make the step size 16 dotted. And let's have it go over a 2-octave range. And now let's bring in our ribbon. And remember, I can let go because we've switched off the spring back function. And we can control how this works. Very cool. So there you go. There is some of the cool stuff you can do with the ribbon controller. And don't forget, at any time you can go back into settings, configuration, and have these snap back to 0 once you let go of them. Anyway, there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a patron. As always, it's very helpful. And I will see you all later. Thank you very much for watching. Ta-da!